Hi everybody, I just wanted to hop in and provide our week 2 in review. Just a reminder, here are our goals for the week. Week 2 is really where we're starting to shift away from learning some of the mechanics of the language, which we are doing, but we're learning it for the purpose of being able to do something with their language. And so what we're really focusing on, what we can do this week, is introducing ourselves and others. In order to do that, remember, we're going to need 5 new consonant sounds, 2 new vowels, and to recognize our first sign. We're going to review the Russian vowels, we're going to review pronunciation, and we're going to talk about pronouns. Let's get started. Our first critical slide is from 1.2, and it's slide 2. Добрый день, Аманда ли? Да, Аманда ли? Очень приятно, Денис. Очень приятно. Here we have a simple introduction with names. Denise knows he's looking for Amanda, but he doesn't know what she looks like. Notice they respond to meeting each other with the phrase we've been practicing since week 1. Очень приятно. This is a polite response for all introductions. To imitate Denise and Amanda, we need the sounds b and ch. B, remember, looks like a fancy 6, while ch, as in chen, is the upside down chair word or the upside down church. The vowel sound u is like the sound e. However, we make it in the back of our mouth. So you're going to pull your tongue backward. We're going to practice more of that in just a second. Both din and очень end in the soft sign. This sign, this little b right here, has no sound of its own. And when we have din is 1 syllable, очень is 2 syllables. But the soft sign tells you that you should put the middle of your tongue as close to the roof of your mouth as possible. To do this effectively, make a smile so that the space between your tongue and the roof of your mouth is small. Din. Очень. The next thing we're going to look about is how this dialogue models the time of day greetings. So we saw here and we talked about in class the importance of добрый день as hello. We are also, of course, going to learn and practice the other greetings based on time of day. We have доброе утро, добрый день, добрый вечер, and then the one goodbye, до свидания. Our next critical slide is slide 4 from 1.2. Вы Антонио Моралес? Это я, Антонио Моралес, или просто Тони. Очень приятно. Like when Denise met Amanda, he knew a name but not a face. He meets Tony and the same thing happens, except they use you and I. Tony actually introduces himself. Это я. Russian has 2 words for you, and we'll cover those next week. But here is one of them. Вы. And я means I, or me in some circumstances. To increase our confidence in using this model, let's practice that sound yeri, or that e sound. To increase our confidence in using this model, let's practice and contrast it with its friend e. E. E is the easier sound. We make it just like we end the words tea or coffee. While U is the same sound except we move it to the back of our mouth. So we have ili, or here, ili, as opposed to вы. Again, we move that e, u. Additionally, this is a good slide to practice pronunciation. We see the name Antonia, Antonia, and we see the word просто, simply, or Antoni, as well as очень and приятно. When we work on this Friday, we will work on pronunciation and practice reducing the vowel o. When o is the emphasized syllable, we need to make our mouths into an O shape. But when it is not the emphasized syllable, as in Просто. We relax our lips and it becomes more of an ah sound. Просто. Приятно. Our next slide is continued from 1.2, and this is slide 5. Как тебя зовут? Тони. Это Аманда. Очень приятно, Тони. Ты студент. Да, а ты? Я аспирантка. Here we have a direct way to ask somebody their name. While Amanda does not introduce herself, Denise does. We know from class practice that a response to как тебя зовут is меня зовут, and a way to introduce yourself. Or you can simply use я. Further, Tony and Amanda exchange more information. They share what kind of students they are. Tony студент, Amanda аспирантка. To master как тебя зовут, you need to be comfortable with the letter B and the letter Z that looks like a little 3. Often students confuse Z with the letter E. Remember, Z is a 3, while E is a backward C with a horizontal line through it. It's going to take some time to get used to it. So you want to look at это and зовут next to each other until you can notice and appreciate the difference. You will also need to be comfortable with most of the vowels to use this slide as a model. Russian pairs its vowels where a pair sounds the same, but we add something to the ones on the bottom. First, at top we have a, while on the bottom we have ya. Ah, ya. We add that Y sound. On the top we have eh. On the bottom we have yeah. Then we have this unique pair, U and E. This is one where the bottom is actually easier to pronounce. And I'll explain why they're top and bottom next week. Our final slide is from 1.3. Это мама. Ее зовут Линда. Она пианистка. А это папа. Его зовут Роберт. Он журналист. These sentences model talking about someone other than ourselves. First, Amanda is talking about her mom, so she uses female markers like ее and она. Then she talks about her dad using masculine markers like его and он. In order to master this model, you will need to feel comfortable with the letters je as well as the letter yo. Yo is one of the trickier vowels to remember because it looks so familiar, but it sounds so unexpected. Yo, yo. This sound yo is related to the sound O, just like ya is related to ah. And it's similar to the sound we make in yo-yo. Let's compare yo and o. Это ее зовут она. Это его зовут Роберт. Он. О-о-о-ё. While the last slide, that is slide 1 from 1.3, does not leave us with a lot of text. Tony, Денис, вот фото. It does demonstrate one final F sound. You will notice F in all kinds of foreign borrowings in Russian. Lastly, I have supplied all 10 Russian vowels. The only pair we didn't see in action today were the U sounds, the ones here at the end. The top one is just like U in student, while the bottom one is U, just like the word you in English.
До свидания!